are inherently multi-platforms because real-time audio and video can be broadcast via mobile, social media, and video games technology. In this paper, we are interested in examining the recent rise of a live streaming influencer, particularly in the area of digital gamers. Increasingly, marketer and advertiser has employed digital game players in their influencer marketing campaigns. This is also known as gaming influencer. Popular digital game live streaming platforms such as Twitch are popular among many digital gamers. Live streaming influencer, also known as key opinion leaders in China, also have significant commercial implications due to the rise of live streaming, live commerce, advertising endorsement, and product promotion. This is an important topic because live streaming industry in China continue to be significantly larger than in the US in terms of users, demographics, and especially when it comes to product design and monetization method. Additionally, the characteristic of many digital game players are very attractive to marketers. It is estimated that in China, there will be 450 million esports gamers by 2020, compared with 350 million last year. Unlike the popularity of Twitch in other countries, Chinese gamers turning to the streaming service like Douyu and Houyu, the two Chinese platforms, commands over 60% of the industry. One of the most noteworthy developments in the live streaming ecosystem is that in comparison with entertainment live streaming, those who watch games live streamers are more engaged. Nearly 1/3 of the users watch on a daily basis. Additionally, according to several market research reports, game streaming platforms enjoy a higher average revenue per paying users than non-game streaming platforms. By revenue from audience engagement or by platform compensation. The third characteristic of an influencer is monetization, or known as the revenue generation through different business models and emerging trends such as live streaming, shopping, or commerce. The last characteristic of influencer is trust and authenticity, and that is part of the source characteristic of an influence that are related to parasocial relations of trust with an audience, as well as perceived authenticity of the content, which can be used to influence consumer purchase behavior. However, many of these digital live streaming influencers and their practice are often not regulated by either professional as ethical standard like mainstream TV broadcaster, anchors, or traditional advertiser celebrity endorsement, and government policy that often fall behind the rapid change of the communication technology. Some emerging regulatory concerns involved the intersection between international politics, live streaming commerce as a business activity, and the fake news and information campaign as a communication activity, particularly in a political campaign. Additionally, according to TechNote's Richard Dai, reports that more than 85% of the Chinese streaming revenue comes from virtual donation, virtual gift. So that's another interesting activity that is not regulated by the existing government regulatory regime. So how will government around the world regulate these emerging issues? That's an interesting question. And as you can see in this interesting visual from the trade publication Advertising Week, the majority of government regulatory mechanisms are often trailing behind live streaming gaming influencer as an emerging phenomenon. Most government regulators are still pondering what to regulate and how to regulate. Advertising endorsement and even fake followers. This computational text mining study will examine and describe recurrent keywords and phrases from government regulatory discourses and documents, and to find out what is going on and what has been debated regarding this critical issue. The study first described the role of digital game live streaming platform and influencer, and also we talk about what are some of the emerging regulatory debates. Our study will conclude with an empirical text mining research to examine government regulatory debates, discourse about this critical issue. First, let's look at China's regulatory mechanism. Even though gaming influencers are a new group of internet celebrities that recently emerged due to the popularity of the digital games and esports, they have become important commercially speaking because the global gaming market is expected to reach $545.98 billion by 2028. Research has claimed that gaming influencers build their community around the common interest of a gaming video that is interactive, engaging, and easy to watch. At the same time, it is created content that actually interact with the viewers. As a result, many brands has actually tried to capitalize the opportunity of collaborating with a gaming influencer. In China, China has regulated content streaming on social media. Some of the content-based regulation, including the prohibition of any topics that is related to gaming, politics, inappropriate songs, and even suggestive eating a banana. Any violator, including live streamer, they will be blacklisted from the platform. From 2015 to 2017, more than 700 live streaming platforms has competed for users in China. Ethical guidance are in place to guide how live streamer will interact with each other. In general, compared with the Western countries, Asian counterparts are often more proactive in terms of dealing with the problem. For example, in May 2021, China has released a very stringent regulation of live streaming e-commerce or live commerce activity that will now be under the oversight of its Commerce Ministry, Cyberspace Administration of China, and the Ministry of Public Security in terms of marketing practices, underage consumer protection, and host identity. Must label their contents with hashtag ad to disclose paid-for posts, story, and video. And the UK regulatory model also relies on self-regulation because the quantity of contents cannot be properly reviewed and censored by the government body. Particularly, the regulatory mechanism will focus on three key areas. The first is brand partnership, where a brand pays an influencer to create promotional content, and this must be disclosed. The gifted relationship are the second category of regulation, which means that brands who share products with the influencer, they must show good faith and when they are reviewed and promoted. The third category of regulation will be affiliate model, which means that when influencer or content creator earn a commission for driving brands conversion through their contents. All this must be transparent and disclosed in the contents. In the US, the regulatory agency is Federal Trade Commission, FTC, which look closely at the advertiser who work with influencer. Some of the mechanisms used by FTC include influencer must reveal their relationship with the brand, and the violator of the law will be receive penalties, fines, or legal fees. So some of the interesting cases, including in 2016, a video network settled with FTC over the undisclosed payment to an online influencer. In 2014, an advertising agency working for Sony also received penalty for urging its employees to promote a gaming console on Twitter without disclosing their relationship to the agency. FTC also published two documents. One is the guides concerning the use of endorsement and testimonial in advertising. And another one is a disclosure 101 for social media. We compile our corpus from EULEX, Government USA, or Library of Congress, and FTC website, and Google. In the following, we will go over some of the empirical findings from our text mining results. In text mining, in this study, we use KDA Miner and WordStat 7.0 to analyze our data. So our first finding, as you can see the slide, we use a word cloud and by doing a keyword extraction And here we identify a list of keywords that rank in terms of TF, IDF, in terms of how these topics has been talked about. So for example, you can see transparency, influencer, consumer, and also information. And all these are extracted from the keywords. However, in addition to look at the aggregate results, we also look at the country variation. And particularly our corpus include documents from China, EU, UK, and US. So we kind of notice something interesting. For the keywords extracted from the corpus, USA, disclosure is an important keyword. And this information is very important for EU's regulatory document. Children are very important for China, UK, and transparency is very important as a keyword for EU. So these techniques allow us to kind of figure out what type of focus that different country has when they are talking about regulating influencer. Discourses. So for example, consumer protection, consumer rights, and transparency obligations. You can also see the visualization of data in the word cloud figure in this chart or in this slide. Additionally, we look at different keywords and how different countries actually vary in terms of their focus. So for example, consumer protection seems to be very important for EU and UK, but not considered to be important in China. Content monetization is a keyword important in EU only, but not in other countries. To conclude, some of the takeaway from this study, for example, our study has concluded that live streaming gaming influencer is often approached the existing influencer marketing regulation. So even though that in the government regulatory documents, they haven't specifically addressed gaming influencer, however, we kind of expect that since gaming influencer are considered to be a category of live streaming influencer or the influencer in general, likely that the similar debates in terms of the regulatory mechanism will appear later on. Another insight from our study used a text mining method to analyze regulatory documents. And usually the regulatory documents are like 100, 200 pages document. In the past, researcher might kind of look at these documents manually. By using the computational data processing, we can actually extract some of the key focus that kind of show up in the regulatory debates. Another important thing that related to the method we use is that using a computational text mining method, we can even conduct a cross-national comparison. So for example, as you can see in the previous keyword extraction and the key phrase extraction, we can actually situate and compare China with a different country to see whether there will be some variation in terms of the focus or emphasis in terms of the regulatory mechanism. However, like any text mining research, our study definitely will be limited by the number of documents that has been included in our corpus. And considering that the gaming, live streaming gaming influencers are kind of relatively new in the process of collecting data, we kind of noticed that there's actually a lack of relevant literature. And that's the reason we kind of look at the influencer marketing to see how they will be regulated. So these are actually possibility for future research direction.